So would Bannon just time, like the way that Adolf Hitler did back in the 20s, and come out a martyr on the other side, just twice as powerful, twice as, even more? I'm guessing that's the way he's thinking about this. And then, when the fascists take over the country, this is Steve Bannon's fever dream, right? In 2024, and Donald Trump or somebody like him is president again, they'll just pardon him and he'll become the Secretary of State or something. It's amazing. Anyhow, that's the breaking news, as it were. The other story I wanted to tell you about in this block of the show, this part of the show, is Elizabeth Warren has now cranked up her calls for Amazon to be broken up, and it's because of some extraordinary reporting by Reuters, the news organization, that found a wild cache of internal emails and documents within Amazon that had to do specifically with Amazon India. Now, here's how the scam works. In Amazon India, according to these documents, what they have been doing is noticing the products that people are buying. You've got a lot of small, India up until maybe a decade or so ago had a national law that forbid any company from owning more than 2 retail stores in the country. It was an anti-monopoly law that was designed to keep small businesses in effect, in place. And I don't recall when they did away with it or how they weakened it. My apologies, but it has been largely done away with and weakened under pressure from Walmart. Actually, there was one Walmart in India. Now they're growing. But this is, you got the Modi administration is kind of a neo-fascist administration anyway. So anyhow, what they found was that all these small businesses in India were offering goods through the Amazon platform to customers in India. And what Amazon was doing was tracking all these sales. And whenever they noticed that a particular product was really starting to get traction, hey, there's a lot of people buying these batteries. There's a lot of people buying these baby carriages. There's a lot of people buying bicycles. There's a lot of people that are made by small local companies. Whenever they found that, particularly in a realm where there might be some profit and not a lot of competitors, what Amazon would do is simply contract with an independent company, not the company that they're going to run out of business, to manufacture the exact same product or a very similar product and slap their brand name on it. And then when people search for that product, if they go on the Amazon site in India and search for a bicycle or a baby carriage, these are not necessarily even the examples. This is just, by way of explaining this. Then what they'll find first, the search results will always be biased toward the Amazon product rather than the product coming from the small companies. And it's wiping out small businesses across India. Elizabeth Warren tweeted yesterday, "These documents show what we feared about Amazon's monopoly power, that the company is willing and able to rig its platform to benefit its bottom line while stiffing small businesses and entrepreneurs. This is one of the many reasons we need to break it up." There are literally thousands of pages of internal Amazon documents that Reuters reviewed. And this is being done by Amazon's private brands team in India. Jeff Bezos testified before Congress that Amazon didn't do this. He testified under oath before Congress, and lying under oath before Congress is a crime. And the American Economic Liberties Project, which is an anti-monopoly kind of advocacy group, said in a series of tweets yesterday, "This is not shocking, but it is appalling. Independent businesses have sounded the alarm for years, providing evidence that Amazon stole their intellectual property. We said back in 2020 that a perjury referral was in order, and it still is, highlighting testimony from Bezos and Nate Sutton, Amazon's Associate General Counsel. But Amazon will remain an anti-business behemoth, flagrantly breaking the law and daring policymakers to stop them. It's time to break Amazon up." As I said, I wrote a book about this. The the hidden history of American monopolies. And this situation with Amazon, I pointed out in the book, and I said, it's fairly clear to me this is happening. We have no internal proof of it, though, and the president of the company and I believe largest shareholder has basically said, no, we would never do that. Are you kidding? No, we're not going to do that kind of thing. So we'll see how this shakes out. But and Amazon's just the tip of the iceberg. We have gone from being a country where small, independent, local businesses were the mainstay of the American economy to being a country where a handful of giant corporations dominate every sector of American business life. Used to be, and this is all basically pre and post Reagan. The big change happened in 1983 when Ronald Reagan instructed the Justice Department and the Federal Trade Commission to stop enforcing the antitrust laws. And then what you saw was what was referred to as the A Mania. Those of you who are old enough to remember the 1980s, you will remember, there were 2 or 3 years where this was a thing. This was like in the news. Oh, this company just bought another company, and they just bought 5 more companies. And now it's the mergers and acquisition mania was the M&A thing. And the guys who called themselves M&A artists, they also called themselves masters of the universe, people like Michael Milken, became fabulously rich, taking companies, a number of smaller companies in a sector, hey, let's buy up all the companies that make, fill in the blanks, right? Breakfast cereals or bicycles or all the hotels, the banks, the retail stores, the 5 and dime stores, the grocery stores, the car dealerships. You name it, right? Let's buy them up, combine them together under a single brand. We'll keep enough different competitors in the marketplace that it appears that there's competition. We went from dozens of airlines to basically, fewer than 10 major national airlines, arguably fewer than 6. And so what has happened is that every niche in America, I want to say industrial niche, but it's not just manufacturing. This involves retailing, it involves service industries, it involves restaurants, banks, right across the board. You can't name a sector of the American economy now that is not dominated by fewer than 6 companies that own more than roughly 80% of that sector. That's called monopoly. Technically, that's called oligopoly. It's like a group of oligarchs have essentially a cooperative monopoly. And it's arguably illegal. Certainly under the antitrust laws. The problem is that the Supreme Court has chosen to adopt Robert Bork's understanding of the antitrust laws, which was that it doesn't matter what the company does as long as it's making money for its shareholders and it's not raising prices on its consumers. And it's just been this fundamental shift in how we do business in America. And it's not a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. It's not a good thing for American consumers. And even worse, it makes it almost impossible to start a small business. It used to be you could visit before Reagan, you could visit any city in America and all you would see were local names on the stores, on the hotels, on the banks, on the restaurants. Now all you see is what? Macy's and Wells Fargo and Marriott and Olive Tree.